And when I spoke to Eddie, I said it was similar to sort of Cordina Agawa. You get that sort of big knockout win, the showreel knockout, and then everything can start flowing. Do you feel like this is a real momentum shifter for you?
Definitely. This was a fight. What gave me that fear factor? It got me up for camp. My last performance didn't do that. But I always take the positives. The main thing I needed in my fights was the championship rounds. I never really got them. Apart from my last two fights, so I see them as a blessing in disguise, and it's going to put me in good stead.
Still victorious in your last two fights, but because they're probably not the performances you expected and put the pressure on yourself.
Like Eddie's saying, boxing's an entertainment business. No, people don't like. Of course, it don't matter how you win, as long as you get the win. But if I want to be selling out Hillsborough, I've got to build my profile, and these are the knockouts what build that.
Do you feel the pressure tonight?
Of course there's pressure, like any fight there's pressure. But it's just about staying calm, and especially with the cuts. I know a lot of fighters, they panic, but as soon as I seen the blood, I was like, you know what? This is where it's business. This is where you've got to show what you're made of. And to be honest, as soon as I was cut, it relaxed me even more, even though I couldn't see. It relaxed me for some weird reason.
Eddie, how realistic and how soon is the world title? I know you've said British, Commonwealth, European, but
it's not in the plans just yet, but it's a natural route to take because that's where he's going to go. But he took his time at them. So we might have stayed there one fight too long, but the Sam Maxwell fight was the right fight now. So now we move on European titles, I think, or one of those world level guys around the top 15. And we start manoeuvring through the governing bodies and position ourselves in the top 10, top 5, and then we start moving towards mandatory positions. Hopefully we've still got some champions there where we can bring to the UK as well.
Of course, I'm not sure, Eddie. I've broke the record to do it with the new rules, to win it outright.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Maybe I'm wrong, but...
Don't worry about it if you are.
but of course, I want to achieve bigger things than that, but... I just wanted that British title, to look back on in my career, and I've, like you say, it's one of the most beautiful belts in boxing, and I can say I've got that now.
Last one, guys, because we're running out.
Yeah. Obviously, another big show on Sky Sports tonight. How do you make sure that boxers like Dalton, who was a brilliant knockout tonight, don't get overlooked by people flipping between channels?
I think going the same night is never great, but what we are is a global platform. If you look at the global eyes on that show tonight, it dwarfs any other show that's going tonight also. It will be a smaller audience in the UK, but Dalton's boxed on Sky Sports his whole career, and quite recently as well. So I think he's in a good position. There's a lot of eyeballs on him in America as well. But quite honestly, a lot of the views and the numbers come post-fight these days, especially off the back of knockouts like that. So however many watched live on DAZN or on Sky, 50 times or more will watch that knockout tomorrow via various different platforms. So it's all down to the performance, and to make sure that obviously we use our promotional tool to push them as hard as we can.
Do you know what it was? I knew it was still a bit fresh. Obviously, I've been very active this last year, 5 fights in a year. So I knew I had to be careful. I knew if it took a good head clash, they'd open up. So as soon as I see blood, to be honest, it made me up it again. And I tasted blood. I raised my game, so credit to Sam, true champion. And I needed that fight. It got me up for the occasion, and pulled off a great finish.
Was there any worry that they were, because they were having a good look at it, weren't they? And if they stopped it, it would have denied you the chance to finish it the way that you did.
That's it. I don't know. Would it have gone to the scorecard now? Yeah, so I knew I was well up on the scorecard, so I know I was safe there. But obviously, you don't want it to end like that. So I knew I had to play careful. That's why, obviously, the head clash we caught coming in. That's why I was drawing him in, coming back, and I found my distance there and got a great finish.
Tell us about the finish then. And obviously, you were very concerned. You immediately went to check. He was okay, but a great way to win the fight.
That's it. At the end of the day, you want your opponent to come out of there safe. He's got a family to go home to, and so have I. So it's all you want is your opponent to come out of there safe. So I'm not celebrating till I know he's fine. But obviously he is, and that's it. As long as he's all right.
But a finish like that catches people's attention, doesn't it? Do you think the rest of the division will have taken a notice of what you've done tonight?
Of course, I think I've had 2 fights with highlight reel knockout, so you know I needed to get one in there. You know, I've had plenty up to now. It's always good to get a highlight reel knockout, so yeah, I needed that.
How close do you think you are to being at your best?
You know, I'm in the game for a long time. But every fight I'm showing my levels. I wouldn't say my last performance, but you know the opposition brings it out of you. But look, I'm in this game for the long run. I'm not in it for rushing things. Once I'm at the top, I want to stay there, and you know, this is a man to get me to the top.
You mentioned that you want to go for the European title next. Is that the key aim for you?
Yeah, like I said, I want every traditional belt. I've got English, British, Commonwealth, want the European, and then the one after that is a world. So, you know, Eddie's the man to deliver them for me. But obviously, I need to let these cuts heal. You know, my last 2 fights have been cut, but you know, I ain't given them enough time to heal. And I knew if I got, you know, clashed heads, it would open. So, you know, unfortunately, it happened, but you know, I stayed calm. You know, found my distance, and the finish came.
How close are you, do you think, to that big fight at Hillsborough?
Of course, I need the right dancing partner, and I also need to keep building the support like they have. You know, they keep coming out for me. I know it's a little bit bad timing with Wembley at this time, but you know they're still showing they're coming out to support me. So I need to keep building that, you know, that support, that fan base, and also I need the right dancing partner for the time.
And you've mentioned as well that you weren't able to properly celebrate Wednesday running at Wembley because you had the fight to prepare for. So what has this sort of last month been like for you? The win tonight, that win as well, and how you celebrate tonight?
To be honest, Dad, you know, it was still a buzz being there at Wembley. But of course, you've been able to have a little drink and make it better. But you know, I'm going to enjoy both nights tonight. Nothing too heavy, you know. I don't really like drinking anyway. But you know, I think I deserve a drink tonight.
Well done, Dalton. Eddie, just how impressed were you with the way that fight went?
Yeah, so impressed. And I said to him in the ring, like, it makes our job so much easier when he produces performance, and particularly finishes like that, because that's what people see. You know, that 5 seconds, that one punch knockout. You know, that does huge numbers worldwide. And you know, the special fighters will make special statements when the pressure's on. And I've said this week to a lot of fighters in my guard, but particularly Dalton, you've got to go and do it now. You know, you've got the fan base, you've got the platform, you've got the money, you've got the deal, you've got everything in front of you. Now go and deliver. And when you do, that's when it's really impressive. And you know, he's gone through that level now. We know he's above British level, but now he's proved that. For me, that was kind of a European level fight, but we like the European title as well. We got a dozen fighters at 140 that he could fight, including a few world champions. But like he said, we want to build here. You know, tonight was a nice crowd, and we were defeated a little bit by the Wembley run that you guys had. But next time we come back, we think we can fill it up against a good opponent and then move on. And I believe that Hillsborough's a real possibility. You know, we did Kell Brook against Errol Spence at Bramall Lane. We filled the place. It was unbelievable, and we do exactly the same at Hillsborough with a big name, and that will come. And I believe Dalton Smith will be world champion.
There are certain things that make it tricky to get a fight at Hillsborough. Have you had positive conversations about potentially making that happen in the future?
Yeah, the most difficult thing is always date. We've seen it with the City Ground with Lee Wood recently. Like, you have a very small window, and sometimes it's hard to make the right fight. But what we know is that Hillsborough are massively, and Sheffield Wednesday are massively behind Dalton Smith. And they would love to make it happen, because we
want to make it happen as well.
Yeah, we did it at Bramall Lane, so we know they want to do it as well, you know. And this is the only chance. The only chance you guys have in this city right now for filling this stadium and doing big world championship fights is Dalton Smith. And luckily enough for you guys, he's a world-class fighter. You had it with Kell Brook, world-class.
But after me as well, you know, I believe, you know, Janine Boston.
Yeah, but he's from Rotherham.
You can have Rotherham Stadium, can't you?
Yeah.
But obviously,
right now, I mean, that's for years.
Right now,
I mean, look, there's talent coming through, but over the next year, 18 months, this is the only chance this city has to capture world titles in massive nights in the arena in Hillsborough. And luckily, it's good enough. It's not just some bloke that we're going, oh, he's got a nice following, we'll try and get him a world title shot. If he doesn't win a world title, I'll be devastated. That's how good he is.
How excited is he, and what's the kind of timescale, Eddie, on a potential world title fight ideally?
It's all about timing, it's all about who it is, who's the opposition, really, I think European title next sounds nice. Then you've got so many of those fringe guys that we've got as well. Maybe it could be one of them next. You never know. Could be next summer. Could be 18 months. Like it's when the opportunity arises. Who's the champion? Who we can bring to the UK? You know, but now we start to navigate through the governing bodies to position ourselves. This is something that takes 6 months or a year to make sure that we're in position to take those chances.
Dalton, how was the trip to America with Danny Roberts? How did that seem to help your performance tonight? Definitely.
Do you know what? It's accumulation, everything. It's hard work. That's all that matters. You know, it's all the hard work I put in with my dad in the gym. You know, and it was great to get some work in with Manny and learn some new stuff. And of course, like no fight is a finished product. You've got to go out there and pick up new things, learn new things to reach them next levels. If not, you're going to stay, the mediocre level. I want to become the best fighter possible.